Why is having the buy box so freaking important when it comes to drop shipping on Amazon? Whether you're in an automation service or doing it on your own, the buy box is gonna be detrimental to your success. And if you don't have it, it's gonna mess with your margins and all this, and we're gonna explain why, because people freak out all the time, like, oh my God, my margins are so low. Yes, because you're not getting the buy box, and here's why. Let's talk about it.
What's up, guys? This is 𝗏𝗏𝗥𝗘𝗦, and you have reached the 𝗏𝗏𝗥𝗘𝗏 e-com channel. If you want to learn how to make money online or offline, then you need to be right here. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller. I'm also an honorably discharged Air Force veteran. Graduated from Penn State and started a career as a software engineer and leveraged that to build my businesses. If you guys have any questions on how to make money, you're going to find all your answers right here, so stay tuned.
Yo, welcome back to the channel, Roughnecks. Good to see you all here yet again. If you're new here, you guys already know you should hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe so you can get the latest and greatest. For the rest of y'all, man, you know what time it is. Now, when it comes to the buy box, the reason it's super important is because if you don't have it, you're probably not gonna get any freaking sales. You guys, you might not be familiar with what the buy box is, but if you guys shop on Amazon, you know that little box here says buy it now. If there's multiple sellers on that listing, even if there's not multiple sellers, you wanna be the person that's in that box. So when they click buy it now, you get credited for that sale. If you're not the person in that box and you want to get credited for the sale, then they got to click buy from other sellers and they got to scroll down and all this and blah, 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 blah. You know, the buy box is the most important thing when it comes to selling on Amazon, especially if you're drop shipping, okay? And it's comprised of a lot of things, you know, price, your selling history of that particular item, the selling history of your competitors, the selling history of that particular item with those competitors, the reviews, everything, okay? But price is a lot of it. And a lot of times people drive the price down in order to get the buy box. And we're gonna talk about why that is both good and bad in just a second. Because I feel that a lot of people don't really consider how important the buy box is when they get involved with like an Amazon automation service or they start drop shipping on their own. They just kind of think they're gonna make a ton of money. And that's just not always the case, because even when you're doing private label drop shipping, like what I teach, you know, my students, you do need the buy box, okay? You can't run PPC without having the buy box or without being buy box eligible for that particular, you know, item. Also, there will be no buy it now option. So if you aren't buy box eligible, it's gonna be very difficult for people to start purchasing your particular item if you're doing private label drop shipping. They're gonna have to click, you know, see more sellers or more buying options. You're the only person on that listing, but they got to click that button, and so you might not get near as many sales. So it's really important. Now, over time, you're going to naturally get the buy box. It takes right around 90 days or so for you to become buy box eligible when you're doing FBM for your own listings. If you're FBA, you're pretty much going to get it right off the rip. So that's why having the buy box can be detrimental to your success when it comes to private label drop shipping. When it comes to overall drop shipping, whether it be retail or wholesale, it's going to make a massive difference because you're going to have a lot more listings. And if your buy box percentage is low, you're not going to get credited for those sales because other people are going to be in the buy box. Whether you rotate in and out, it's going to be kind of irrelevant if you can't sustain it. So you're not going to make any money. You're just going to have all this software, all these listings, but you're not really going to be making any money. And we don't want any of that. Okay, now let's talk about why driving the price down to get the buy box can be both good and bad right now. So when trying to get the buy box, a lot of people are going to drive the price down. Now, if you're a new seller, that's not always the best thing to do, but it can help, and it can help in a major way. So let's talk about how it can be good and bad for people who are getting into the space. Now, when you drive the price down, you're essentially pricing yourself out of profitability. Okay, so when a lot of people are looking at their profit margins at the end of the month, they're like, man, I'm only at 3 or 4% margins. Well, you got to look at your buy box percentage and what you were winning, you know, what your average was. If your buy box percentage is low, you have to lower the price in order to get into the buy box more readily. But when you're in the buy box and you're getting those sales, guess what? Now you're getting more reviews, you're getting more seller history. So over time, your buy box win percentage is going to go up because now you have that history. When you don't initially have that history, you can't necessarily compete with the guys who have 10, 15,000 reviews who are on those listings just for the sheer fact that they have more history. Okay, so it will help you driving the price down to get the buy box. So over time, your buy box eligibility will rise, but it's detrimental because when you drive the price down too much, you essentially create what's called a dead listing. And then it's a listing that is no longer profitable for you and probably not profitable for a lot of the people that are on it. So these people that are selling on the same listing as you, they get mad. And they may or may not, start doing fraudulent activity like saying you're selling inauthentic products and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a catch-22. How do you get the buy box more readily? You got to sell more. How do you sell more? You got to get the buy box. How are you going to get the buy box as a new seller? Drive the price down generally. That's just how it goes. Or you can do something like what we do with FBA to try to bump those sales up, things of that nature. But typically it's going to be driving that price down in order to get the buy box and then get credited for those sales, make sure that the customers have a good buying experience. And then in turn, it'll help your buy box win percentage go up over time, just because now you're getting more reviews, you have more sale history, all that. So yeah, it's catch-22 guys. It's not necessarily all the fun in the world, but it's something that kind of has to be done for the majority of people, even some of my clients. There's really no way around it. They do mention from time to time, they're like, bro, like I was at 4% this month, 5% this month. Like on average, it's 8 to 12. Like, why am I so low? I'm like, well, number one, you're brand new and this is just what it is. You got to play the game. So there's something that you guys have to understand and try to use it to your advantage. Now, for people who aren't trying to go that route, let's talk about FBA and how that can be a little bit of a help before you start drop shipping. Let's go. All right, guys, so let's talk about how FBA can help you win the buy box percentage. Like I said before, when it comes to FBA, typically you're gonna get the buy box more readily, especially if you're private label. I'm not saying you gotta be private label, but it will help if you have a private label item and you're doing FBA with it. If you are not, okay, if you're like, yo, I can't start drop shipping, I'm not getting the buy box more, as readily, do a little wholesale FBA. All right, do a little wholesale FBA to help you get that win percentage up, baby. Granted, there's a whole process behind it, but I can't tell you exactly which items to get because I don't have all that kind of time to do all the product research for you. Just know that a little, FBA, even if it's retail arbitrage FBA, is still going to help you win the buy box more readily than someone who's brand new and just tries to start drop shipping right off the rip. Okay, it gives you a chance to get some sales history, gives you a little chance to make some money while you're at it, as long as you can get those items at a competitive enough price. I know a lot of people aren't going to get them at a competitive enough price. There's nothing I can do about that, but I'm just giving you guys a little tip so you can get out there, go make some money, and you can be successful with Amazon. All right, so as always, man, if you guys have found this informative, go ahead, comment below, man, click the like button, subscribe, do all the good stuff. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. Be safe, be smart. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.